How are the stickers coming? Are they?
I noticed you hit fucking live before you asked that. I just spilled beer.
I started early because I wanted everybody to hear your excuses.
It's the same excuse. I printed more.
I thought you said you sent them.
No.
Ugh.
I never said that. I said, what did I say? I said, send me money. And I gave you a list of reasons why. And stickers were on the list.
That's great.
Yeah.
Just, we're live.
But I printed red ones.
We're live.
Yeah.
So Jeff didn't say, we're live.
I did say something.
Welcome back, everybody. This week, the trio is back. You know, your favorite people that babble a lot and don't make any sense. But we do have a very organized, important show today. If you were here last week, we had a long, drawn-out discussion. Jeff wasn't. He didn't even chime in. Great.
No.
A long discussion about the top 25 cars of all time. Somebody might notice that number does not equal 25 today. And can I tell you why?
I know why.
I can't use the something about Mary quote anymore. It's politically incorrect.
What did you? What happened?
Something about Mary?
Oh, you can use a something about Mary quote.
I work with retards.
Oh, you can't maybe use that one.
Exactly.
Right. But you can use other ones. Hey, you're looking good down there. Did you buy new lights or something? Did you shave? What's going on? You look good down, Ray. Something's different.
I shaved my lights.
I don't know.
No, it's just a different angle. I want to try to.
Yeah, you should do that.
I'm a good-looking guy, so I want some.
Yeah, well, clearly, right? Yeah.
But no, just I put the computer on my photo table, so instead of seeing my photo table, I'm now on the photo table, and now I can see my baller Toyland work area back there.
Yeah, that's a much better setup. I like that setup, but that's a better angle. Yeah, for sure.
By the way, in celebration of our giant reveal today. So what's happening today, everybody? Welcome. Thanks for coming. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching in the future, watching in the past, and every parallel universe. Today, it's top 20 because I cut 5 off because I can't use the quote again. I can't edit what I said out. Sorry. After spending a few hours choking everybody to do the 25 list, which was way harder than everybody except for Pete, I think, thought. Towards the end, it started to look like a pile of trash. So I decided to cut the cord when it started to not make any sense anymore. I will go over some of the bottom that, like we said, last week we discussed what was going on and what we were doing. Like we're going to pick cars. My reveal little sliders say top 20 cars of right now, because tomorrow, if we did a list again, that list wouldn't be the same.
I'll tell you one of the problems. And sure. But I also talked to you a little bit about this the other day, and I don't know if you fully understood what I was saying, but to have, say, a JRX2 and a JRXT on there is somewhat silly. It's the same technology, it's the same innovation, it's the same timing, it's the same vehicle.
I can't, as I said, there's something about Mary quote.
No. So what we would do is when you're down, my point is
4, 5, 6, 7.
When you're down to the final list, then if I had JRX2 and you guys had JRXT, we would discuss, okay, listen, let's all agree on one of those and instead of taking up 2 unreasonable spots. Same with like the RS4 Pro Electric and the Nitro RS4. They're very different platforms, but same timing, and they had the same effect on the industry.
I only disagree with you is that you can argue the significance of either car, and it doesn't make it the same car. I hate places to go.
Okay, so the electric RS4 and the Nitro RS4 was not as good of an example, but a JRX-T and a JRX-2 are the same vehicle. At the same innovation, the same cool sliders, the same cool transmission, the same 5-link suspension that changed to the HRM, and all on and on and on and on. When we're talking about the top cars and innovation, you don't want to have a JRX2 and a JRX-T on the top 25 list. That's silly. We're not
talking about just innovation, though. And the reason I would put both on the list, and I did, is because The JRX.
Oh, you had both on the list. Sorry, I wasn't.
The JRX2. Only a complete a-hole would put both on the list.
Sorry, I actually didn't know you did. You had both.
No, for me, the JRX2 was on the list because that is what set the rivalry up between Team Lowe's and Team Associated, and that with those two companies going at it, that really is part of, in my opinion, why two-wheel drive buggy became the class. JRX2 for me is different, and you are correct. It's a JRX2 with truck tires on it, essentially.
Yeah,
but
it is.
For me, that one was important because the JRX-T was out before the RC10T, and that made truck racing a real thing, not just a wacky thing that you do with Blackfoots. That really put truck racing on the map, and that's why those two were on the list for me.
Yeah, and that's fine. And I knew you'd have a really good explanation. You're a smart guy.
Apology accepted.
But I still don't agree. I think in the end we should say, I still think we should. If it was a top 100 list, I would totally agree with you.
I would never even do a top 100.
I say top.
No, I know. I wasn't implying we should do a top 100. I'm saying if it was a top 100, we got room for that brilliant argument that Pete just put forward. But given that it's a top 25 or
you had to think about 20, it. That was the whole plan, is to actually think about it, not just barf out 25.
No, I know. And now that we've thought about it, I think we should revisit and say I would be willing to change, like from Stampede to Wrestler, as we said. You said it's a different platform, and it is, but it's the same transmission, it's the same shocks, it's the same motor, same speaker.
Dumbest thing I ever heard.
It's the same entry level price.
It's probably going to be muted the rest of the
difference. One guy likes Stadium.
That 25 models is still plenty. You don't need 100. I wasn't like, if I put JRX-T on there, I have to kick off this great other vehicle. Not at all. I think once you get past.
I totally think you have to kick off another great vehicle. Yes, you do. Obviously,
for me, once with 25, yeah, you're going to kick something else off, but it's not something that like you can't live without. Like if you're doing a top 5, top 10, that's different for me.
Someone wrote, I don't know who it was. I hope I'm not attacking you again, Pete. I don't think I am. Someone wrote like the 8 2.0, like over the 3.0 and the 4.0 and the newest one, like that. This is what I mean. It's the 8. Call it the 8.
Right.
The 8 should be on the list.
On those, since they're really just the same car, it's not like a chassis reinvention.
Right.
But not everybody, I'll be honest with you, and this is the thing about doing the more people, the merrier. Not everybody did that, so it didn't matter. So here's who did this list.
But an 8 2.0 should not have taken points away from the 8. The 8 2.0 points should have been applied to the 8 is sort of my point on that
I'll
one.
let you know on that one. I did apply it to the 8. So
I didn't know. I don't know. I'm just saying these are all the little intricacies that we have to look at to make sure.
The stupidity ones where I looked at it and were like, oh, obviously maybe this person doesn't. I don't know why you would pick a 2.0. Like it's like, I don't know. But so on your pick where I said you picked Stampede and Rustler, which are not the same car at all.
No, I know that. And I already sort of touched on that.
You have to pick one because those aren't the same cars.
I'm fine. When I'm in the hobby shop and I have a Stampede and a Rustler, I'll tell you my thought process. I'm not
disagreeing. I know what you're going to say.
When you said I'm going to switch yours to Stampede, okay, that's fine. But the point is, when I stand in the hobby shop doing my diatribe with a Stampede and a Rustler, I'm saying it's the same freaking thing. It is the same thing. You're choosing a configuration. No, it's, again, same motor, speed control, shocks, front knuckles, same amount of bearings, same everything. It's just one's a monster truck.
I'm not reading the comments. Hopefully someone tells you. Can someone put in here an idiot in the comments? Can I read? Hold on, let me catch up with that.
What are you arguing right now? That they're not almost identical in pieces, in the parts of the vehicle? The transmission is the same. The motor is the same. The shocks are the same. Maybe a couple of millimeters difference.
Every Traxxas
you're choosing between
transmission and shocks. Stop it. You're being stupid right now. That's okay.
No, I'm not being stupid. Just let me finish this thought then. You're choosing between driving a monster truck over stuff or carrying corner speed in a stadium truck. They are the same decision, just a configuration.
Excuse me. You're muted. Because there was a real question here. I'm not. This is an Aperol Spritzer. It's not a. I was celebrating. It's champagne night. Jeff's back on. Sometimes I got to shut him up, you know?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. I want to start doing like the only person that's up top can talk. I'm going to start doing that one.
Yeah, but no one's going to listen.
Well, not you.
I'm not going to listen.
Yeah. So we're on the top 20, and to address some of the problems. So here's who I got. I started to try to get more, which actually complicated my life because the more people I got involved, the stupider the answers got. No offense to everybody that I'm going to call stupid after this. So obviously us three right here, we're in this group. Joe Neary, who was our painter, who was also high when he did his. He was. We got Ben Piggott. He rambled on here a couple shows ago. He's been helping with the magazine and helped me a lot. So I put his terrible list in there as well.
I didn't see his list.
Well, I started to hide things because I needed to get to work and not have any approval from anybody. And then I actually got Greg Vogel, longtime friend, does RC Driver. He actually did it in 4 minutes. And I'm going to make fun of his number one pick, just like I did Joe's. He picked the fucking Falcon. Hey, I had a Falcon too, but that shit ain't on the number one list on any pages.
That's not the top.
Real. Right. But he did it emotionally. I don't think he watched the little broadcast we did explaining. And maybe he didn't read the diatribe because I said read Pete's very well written why he picked shit, which explained a lot better than I can. I thought everybody I knew was smart. But the top cars did come out on top. Not the exact order that I would have expected. And if anybody can guess it right now in the next 30 seconds, the top 25, I'll send you $1,000 in order. You got 30 seconds to type your list.
What are you asking them to guess?
They can guess the exact order in the next 30 seconds.
Of the top 20 or the top?
The top 20.
Oh, yeah. Well, you should offer more than $1,000.
Well, I don't want it to somebody.
$1 billion. No one will ever get it.
Yeah.
The probabilities are zero.
Believe me, I couldn't guess this list. I figured the top 5 would probably be pretty obvious, but even having Greg do his list, who's been in the hobby as long as we have and been a part of everything just like we have, I was like, huh? I was so baffled by some of these picks.
I was surprised at Greg's list, yeah.
Did anyone put King Cab on their list?
No.
All right. Well, I asked because Tebow mentioned that the King Cab, he thinks it came out before the JRXT, which it did. Before the JRXT, the King Cab was basically the hot race truck.
Right.
I don't even remember the JRXT coming out first. What it should have done is it didn't leave an impact like the RC10, but that would eliminate for me one of the two. Like, which truck are you going to put on there for me? That's why.
Between a King Cab and a JRXT?
No, JRXT and RC10T.
Yeah. Oh. And you could argue that the King Cab has a position because it was the hot race truck in quotes because it wasn't really a race truck. People chose to race.
I love the King Cab, but it should not be on the list.
Yeah. No, and I put the JRXT, not the King Cab.
Yeah.
But that's the kind of stuff you think about when you do one of these lists.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And to your point before, Jeff, about different models of subdivisions of 8s and that sort of thing. Back when I used to do the Reader's Choice Awards, if you get a vote for the RC10 T4 factory team and the RC10 T4, all those T4, they all
of course. Yeah, no, I'm right. Yeah.
Every vote for the 8, whether it's 2.0, 3.0, whatever edition, they all just go in there.
Unless there's a major redesign, like B4 to B5 are not the same cars.
Of course not. Right. No, of course.
That's the whole thing for me is that if it was a different design, that constitutes a different pick.
No, but if they added 3 millimeters of length to the chassis and moved the servo in 1.5 millimeters and added a new shock hole, then it's a.
Is this 3 millimeters?
Yeah, in Imperial, yeah.
All right, I wasn't sure.
Yeah, but if the Brand X Turbo Dragon gets 75 votes and the Brand X Turbo Dragon Pro Edition gets 75 votes, but the competing car gets 160 votes, that one doesn't win by 10 votes because you would add all the votes for the Turbo Dragon together. I mean, that's common sense.
So I'm going to go over a couple of the dumb picks that would have made the top 25, and it's which why I cut it off because the Turbo Hopper.
Well, that's just because one guy voted for it, number one.
I know, but the Falcon were in the top 25 with no votes from 4 other people. So I was like, all right, this is dumb. And look, I can argue the Turbo Hopper. I can't argue the Falcon.
I could argue the Turbo Hopper. Yeah.
Yeah. I just implied that since we were in the real industry, that wouldn't have been just like
hobby grade, right?
But it wasn't as bad of a choice as Greg's Falcon, even though that was my first car. Also, where Falcon.
Yeah, the Falcon was an amazing car. It's just there was too many other bigger things in that era from Tamiya alone, let alone.
And so, before I start revealing the list here, I'm going to go over some of the things at the bottom that some may or may not have voted for that we might not have discussed. So, B5 was in there. A DEX 410R.
B5 should not have been in there.
Yeah. Good cars, but it's just a transitional model. It's not.
Scorpion.
What are you listening now? What are you saying? What would have been in the top 25?
Some of the stuff at the bottom that were voted.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Good.
That usually only one person voted for. 22.
No, 22 should have been on there. I think I'll argue why, but that's
well,
fine.
you probably put it on your list. That's why it's in the bottom.
I did put it on my list, and I can
so
tell
you
everyone.
really voted for it. I get it. It's not. Hey, it will calm down. We all get the fucking carpet dirt transmission crap because you raised the stupid carpet. I put, this is one of mine, the TRF 416 or 4, whatever the dominant Tamiya touring car was.
Yeah, I saw that after I'd done mine of yours, and I tend to agree. I didn't change mine.
Yeah.
But I could see that.
RC18, sorry.
No.
CA05. So some of the Tamiya stuff, I understand, but there's so many of the same chassis. I think it blurs itself. Double X4 was one of them, one mentioned. Yeah, I can say.
No, I put that on. That brought back four-wheel drive racing. Come on.
Yeah, didn't it win the Worlds?
I think the Double X4 may have.
Yeah, Triple XP. Somebody voted for the Mini Z, which wasn't Jeff, oddly enough.
I could easily put Mini Z on just as.
Listen, I'm not mad at that one. I'm not the Falcon. I'm mad at.
I didn't put Mini Z on, but I could have.
I know, and it wasn't Jeff. That was the amazing part.
Right.
Only one person voted for the Emax, which I was kind of surprised at.
Well, there's an obvious reason for that based on our conversation earlier.
Okay. It was the first real electric monster truck that went fast.
No, I know, but it's the one that's going to end up easily in the top 3. I haven't seen the top 20, but the one that will easily end up in the top 3.
Right. 5T, which, is cool. Somebody
but
voted
the Baja was actually a bigger deal than the 5T. 5T was much better, but the Baja was a bigger release.
I'm just going over some of the one-timers that got high points for no reason. Vendetta ST. I don't remember who put that dumb thing, but it may have been Joe. Sand Scorcher. I mean, some of the.
When you guys hear Vendetta ST, do you even form a picture of a car in your mind?
Yeah, I got a boner.
I know what the Vendetta ST is.
I don't know what it is at all.
Top 25 list.
Again, I'm going over some of the why I started to be like, holy shit, who do I work with? So I started to cut it down.
Oh, Mezco says the Double X4 won twice.
8T was on there, blah, blah, blah. That didn't really. 10L kind of tickled some people.
10L should have been on there.
It's not.
That revolutionized oval at the time. That made it that everyone had to go buy it. Everyone had to sell their Bollinks and their Lynxes and go.
An Axial Wraith, which was 2 people voted for that, which I didn't really remember, but I mean, it was cool. I get it.
Yeah.
All right. So the other rest of the stuff is whatever. I mean,
did the Double X make it? The Double X should have made it. I bet you it didn't.
Let's go into.
I think I put the Triple X over the Double X.
Well, I would say the Double X because it was a bigger change at the time, and I think that was the first car that had the Hydra.
Everybody ready? I can't read the comments anymore because I'm going to be doing this shit that allows me not to see it.
Now, Jeff, you put the 22 on the list. Wasn't Durango the first to establish that configuration for two-wheel drive buggy?
Mm-hmm. Schumacher had a mid car, and I believe the 210 from Durango came out before. But when those two mid motor cars didn't seem to put a huge dent in the rear motor cars, or at least not if people are using them. But when I remember when the 22 came out, man, at that time because you could anyway. Yes, I think you're right, but no,
the 22 didn't come out mid motor; it came out rear motor, didn't it? Or was it
came out both? It was convertible
okay.
right from the start.
Okay.
And when it came out, it was winning races. Not at the. I mean, I could do a diatribe. I had 4 Losi cars on my list. I could do a diatribe. They never did anything with those 4 cars, but those cars were so innovative that everyone else copied them.
No, I won't argue that the 22 deserves a spot on your list, but for me, I would say, well, if I'm going to do 22, I should probably put whoever configured a car that way first, and I would have put the Durango.
Fine. Well, Durango or Schumacher. Schumacher might have even been before Durango. So
I remember, good ideas are subject to timing as well. Only
that's the thing, right? Yeah. And also success.
Carpet racing wasn't big in the U.S. until it started to gain momentum. So
right, and also they didn't find the success that maybe they did in Europe or in other countries, but they didn't find the success here that Losi did.
Let's discuss number 20.
Right,
I feel like Casey Kasem.
Wow,
yeah,
I'm going to leave that for a second. So the Ultima.
Was it on your 2's list?
I put that on there. Did I?
It was Kyosho's RC10 Challenger. It won the Worlds with Joel Johnson.
Right.
And they sold a bunch of them.
Yeah.
I'm cool with it.
Was it on your list, Pete?
And
no,
to be
it
honest,
was not on my list.
It wasn't on mine either. Yeah.
That was a competitor to two-wheel drive before Losi. Because I had an Ultima and I raced my friend's busted ass Ultima after he got an Ultima Pro against RC10s, and there were no Losis. So They were the real first two-wheel drive contender. And that's probably why they won the Worlds, because there was only 2 cars. So not a bad pick. You know what one of the problems with me doing this list was? I stayed up late last night because I was like, no way I'm going to be able to do this 5 minutes before the show. Finding pictures of stuff is much more difficult on the internet than you would have ever thought.
At least not someone's basement picture of an Ultima. Like,
yeah, I mean, on white
studio Ultima.
I was going for white. I didn't really want to do any work.
Right.
Try doing it for print, where you need to have some resolution.
Yeah, no, not going to happen.
Joe's gonna see this quote that Joe put. Damn, I forgot about that one. Just ran mine. The damn, I forgot about that one. He's going to say 20 times.
Well, here in Joe's defense, I'll defend Joe. He didn't read anybody's list. He did it before.
I didn't read anyone else's list. I didn't read anyone's list before I did.
And he went somewhat emotional. So did Ben. Ben was like, "These are the only cars I've driven and all that stuff." I was like, "All right, well, you could think outside your driven stuff." So anyway, that was number 20. Number 19. Any guesses? Any guesses? You want to go throw out a guess?
No.
We're counting them down.
Just say it. This is go.
This girl lost an arm in a war, and now she's back to number 19 and click.
Yeah. Okay.
That picture was actually from our review of the re-release, but it was a better picture than most of the stuff I could find for the Optima. It looks better on the 14 release or whatever it was. Optima, I mean, it was cool at the time. Chain drive. There was an Optima mid vote in there, which I didn't change to Optima because that was a totally different car. So
that's right. Yeah, no, those votes would not go.
But three of the 5 people voted for the Optima. So
okay. I didn't. I had Optima mid.
Right. All right.
That's the kind of thing where if you're doing this as like an article, you could say like the Optima series, because
that's the thing. And this is what we'll have to decide as editors.
I don't like the cheap out series because I like the pick.
No, that's okay. Fine. Whatever. It's fine. That's a thing you could do. That's unusual.
We could pick everything.
But even Alex right there, Alex said, I prefer the Optima Mid SE. Yeah, that's right. Of course. Yeah. And the Turbo Optima Mid SE and on and on and on. But everything that's where they would all be the same.
I prefer the Laser ZX.
Yeah, right. All the amalgamations would be all the iterations would be all. All
right, Casey. Zip it. Number 18 on the charts in 2020 at this day right now. Tomorrow may be different. Any guesses?
No, just stop. Go. We're gonna get to number 1 and have no time because of this.
No time. It's not a countdown.
It is for me.
Yeah, it's an important vehicle.
It was. To be honest with you, the X-Max was way lower on the list than I would have thought.
Yeah, I thought it'd be higher.
I didn't vote for it, so it's higher than I thought.
Again, 3 of the 4 people. Only a few cars. Did any? Only 2 cars received votes from everybody, which is strange.
That is very strange.
Right. So up to number 17.
I'd put that higher. I don't know where I put it on my list, but I'd probably put it higher.
I don't know if I put it on my list, but I put it higher. Yeah, I mean, the B4 to me was what was the first chassis? B3?
B2. Well, RC10 was a buggy. So
when they went to the plastic chassis.
B2 and then B3 and then B4.
Yeah, and B3 was the worst car on earth because it only was out for like 3 months and they came out with a B4.
And the B4 did last for a very long time. That's a little bit of a car.
The B3
that's
was
why the TC3 did so well, I think, because when you have a platform that lasts for 6 or 8 years, that's a big deal. Not in today. It would never happen today, but
they do today. They don't really change that.
No. Well, yeah, but right. X-ray room that might put years on the car.
By the way, someone had your exact quote last week when they missed you with your this is where Jeff would say right.
Right. I'm a little bit with Ron on this one. He's questioning the B4. I also tend to question it, but I mean, it was a successful platform for a long time. So, right.
How do you question it? Number 16.
What does that even mean?
Is that a B4 question mark? The RC10 GT.
Yeah, huge.
That should definitely be on there. Yeah.
I never had one, which is strange, but I did vote for it. I had the Losi because I was a Losi guy for a while. GT came out. Jeff can't drive it, but it's a good truck, and then came out with one later. Number 15 on the list, Casey. We're gonna run through it here. So, any guesses?
Yeah, if there's something conversation worthy, we can have conversations. Yeah, right. I thought that would be higher than 15.
Me too. Thank you, Traxxas, for putting better high resolution pictures on their website in white, because that's how does a company in this day and age just not have white resolution background photos on their website? I don't know. TRX4. I mean, everybody can't vote for every scaler. To be real, most of them look exactly the same. Mm-hmm. But this one, obviously, I think just one-upped everybody in the face. You know, like
and a lot of new ideas.
I'm curious to see, are there trail trucks higher on the list?
Yeah, there should be.
Oh, you'd be curious to find out, wouldn't you?
Yeah, yes,
Number 14.
Give us a hint so we can guess it.
Number 14. This next truck was mentioned before.
SEX10.
No, and was debated because Jeff thought they were the
JRXT,
JRXT. Something else, and it's a
Stampede. Okay, yeah,
Stamper.
That should have been higher.
Well, you tried to vote for the two of them, you idiot.
Yeah, but you put all my points on Stampede. You told me you were putting all my points on Stampede.
You didn't answer me in a correct time, and you put Stampede first, I think. So,
put that photo up again.
I don't know where I got it from.
Dude, you should have got an older one.
This is one of the cars that I could not find an older picture.
It's like 1986 or something.
I had to remember.
I'm glad you found an older photo. That's good.
That's not the original one, though, right?
Pretty close.
Original one was blue with the. I had to remember, because even Traxxas didn't have this on their website, which is
the original had a clear body, so it could be painted anyway. But if you look at that one, that's got the center line style wheels on it in white, and I can't tell if it's in a mechanical speed control or not, but that's certainly close to first gen, I would think.
Yeah, I mean, I found one. So I was trying to get one that matched my lazy. Just going to put them on white, so I didn't have to spend 2 hours or 4 hours doing stuff. So Stampede. I told the story, I think, before when I worked in a hobby shop. It was really the first ready to run that people bought to me. And Traxxas is smart and sent them all the hobby shops for free to test drive. So when someone came in, they're like, I never drove an RC car. You slapped the battery and then sent the sucker out. And as Jeff said, why I agree with him is it was between a Rustler and a Stampede to the customer of look, but they were not the same car, because Jeff.
Yeah, that's right. And the reason, well, anyways, are we going to talk about this or just hammer through the list? What are we doing here?
If you want, I just spilled all over my face. If you want to talk about it, you can talk about it.
No, well, when people come into the hobby store, well, someone came in the other day, completely unrelated, but someone came in looking for Mini 8 parts, and they're discontinued. You couldn't get parts for his Lowe's Mini 8, and I did my diatribe then, like that's the one. Okay, a lot of thoughts going on right now. That's Traxxas is getting attacked by companies like Arma and getting beaten down a bit by other competition. But one of the reasons, and there's many, that Traxxas still remains dominant is customers and hobby shops are confident in the availability of parts. That chassis, those chassis, the Rustler and Stampede, have remained almost unchanged, 95% the same for decades, where you can feel confident that car will always be supported. It's also one of the few cars where you can build almost the entire vehicle with aftermarket parts, which is like an RC10 or a Clodbuster. Very few chassis on that list where you can build an entire vehicle without one Traxxas part. The price point, the fact that they give fast motors to waterproof, it's a really good car. It should have been higher on the list for a number of reasons, but good it's on.
But you didn't really want to vote for it.
I did vote for it. I voted for the same diatribe I gave.
Like all Traxxas cars with shocks and motor.
No, it's not. But anyways, go on. Yeah.
Number 13. I'll give you a hint. This company may or not be out of business every other month.
Savage.
Or
yeah, okay, Savage, right.
This was another one to find the original one, because it kind of jogged my memory. I had to think what the original one was, because there were so many variants.
Savage 21, I believe, was.
Yeah, I didn't remember. I was like, oh shit, I don't remember. They released like 7 different. It was SS, and then 4.6, then like XL, and all this like 25.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Well, right now, yeah.
I mean, you could have taken a picture of any of them. It's
well, I'm trying to go for the original because it was a Savage, and the variant afterwards. The engine size to me was less important, but I was trying to find the original Savage. It was I lost a visual of what it was, to be honest.
Right.
I think that's the original one.
Oh, Adam's here. Nice.
I believe that's the original.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Like the rib for Jeff's pleasure pipe on it.
I I don't even know. No, that was
had like it was like a pipe that went like this.
No, I remember. Paris had one for a while too. No, that was an aftermarket. That was an aftermarket item.
It looked like a package of donuts.
But HPI did offer a ribbed pipe for her pleasure.
Yeah, well, was stock on there, I think, unless I saw pictures of the aftermarket.
Yeah, I don't think it was stock, but whatever. This is an unimportant part of the conversation.
Everything's important. So number 12 on the list, Casey. This car was mentioned as a competitor to the Associated.
Well, JRX2.
Yeah. I hate
it. That's a 5-link one. I actually found I guess. Remember that picture I said that the guy copyrighted manufacturer's photos? That's where it was from. So if you're going to complain that it's your photo, fuck face. I
stole this
manufacturer photo. Yeah,
that's the photo of the JRX2. That's the photo that you can get. That's the photo.
Yeah. That had a few really awesome things.
Yeah, then they switched to H-arms pretty quick.
Yeah, that's fine. The 5-link didn't work, but it was still a neat idea. And some
it did. When track got higher grip, that's when they went away from the.
Gil Jr. will tell you it worked great, but it was just too many parts and tolerances to keep together. And
in suspension, you don't want that many moving parts.
So yeah, I mean, there's only 3 things that move on it, but
there's like anyway. Yeah, okay, go on.
The next number 11, it's a big car.
5T.
Physically big or
5B? Which one is it? There you go.
Yeah, that made a big splash. I remember that.
Huge.
That was a big deal. I mean, the 5T is a far better performing car, far better in every sense of the word, but that was long the first one on, and it made a huge splash.
If we're being real, and I can't offend HPI because I don't know who owns it anymore, that thing drove like a pile of crap.
Of course it did. It was 2-wheel drive, right? Yeah.
Yeah. And they never updated it to be competitive and nothing.
Yeah, well, I don't think we're supposed to be competitive.
It's actually a really beautiful car. Like, if you look at it, it's impressive.
Yeah. It's a basher, and it was never made to be a...
I found all fifth scales to be pretty disappointing because, like, they're huge, and that's awesome, but then it's like, time to drive it. Ball, and it's just
ugly
noise.
That's
the nature of that's fine, but that's the nature of it.
An ugly noise, and weight physics comes into play where you can't drive it like a moron anymore. Yeah. Number 10. So we're in the top 10 of the 20 best cars that we thought of at the second. We thought of them. That's the official title of the article.
Brilliant. Yeah. Don't rewrite that.
I feel like this looks like the same pictures I posted before, but it's not. So if you can guess something, stadium truck.
Sure.
So obviously enough of us thought the 10T was a big enough difference. 3 of the 5 voted for the 10T.
Was that a 10T?
Yeah.
Oh, I saw a G there for a second. No.
Well, I had to double check because it looks pretty close to this, but
it's the same
I think that was on purpose. And I think, to be honest with you, this is a photo of the J Concepts body they re-released, because this is another truck I couldn't find original pictures for, and I was like, well, maybe that one, because I don't remember. I think the original box is pretty close to that.
Yep.
So
I remember I had an LXT with the 6-gear transmission with the differential in the middle. The differential was above the final drive gears in the bottom, and the input.
Oh, yeah, right.
The big square gearbox.
I thought you meant the differential was in the middle of the car.
And then I got an RC10T because I saw a guy had one, and that gearbox just spun forever, and I thought, well, that's got to be better.
Of course, yeah.
Did the 10T have a 6-gear or no? That was a stealth.
3-gear.
No, it was a stealth. Yeah. I think it was even a 2.6 ratio. Rather than the 2.25, if maybe someone can correct me, probably wrong, but I'm pretty sure it was definitely a stealth transmission. But I think they changed the ratio inside. 2.6 is what I'm saying.
The next, we're up to number 9. 9 times.
Hint.
This came. The argument was motor size of which one was more important, but they're actually the same thing.
I don't know.
It's a nitro car?
No.
It better not be a Haas or something stupid like. Yeah, of course. Yeah, Grasshopper Hornet / whatever. Not the / Grasshopper / Hornet.
Is that a picture of the re-release?
Might be. That was another difficult one because Tamiya USA was the worst website in the USA for about 10 years. So they never even had pictures of their own cars on there. It was just like the box and no details and stuff like that. So researching that one was a hard one. Number 8 on the list, we've talked about in this live series right now. Another one that was very difficult to find an original picture. So I don't know. This might be the box photo they cropped from that crappy website that claims it's their web thing, but it's an on-road car.
Show the damn car.
RS4?
I'm gonna guess.
Oh yeah, TC3.
Yeah, that should have. Yeah, I mean, 8's fine. Well, yeah. How do you order stuff against like a touring car against a Stampede against a Slash?
TC3 was. So
I guess I'm happy with 8. Is what I'm saying.
I remember I was at Utabe in Japan when I tried to find a picture of Mark's car. Raced the pre-worlds before there was IFMAR worlds for touring car, and then the prelim race. The advantage of shaft drive was stupid. At like 40 seconds left, all the belt cars dumped.
Yeah, so when there's a lack of power and millions.
Yeah, and that was when you had a drive with throttle. They would be like so far ahead in the last 40 seconds. Mark would reel them in. Like it was amazing to watch. It was really fun. This is the first time I ever used a film camera indoors with slide film and ISO 50, which was great for someone that never used camera before. Thanks, Car Action, for sending me there with all the experience I needed.
I think we all have a story about our editor sending us out where we shouldn't have been.
Yeah, and some idiot IT guy that we worked with, I forget his name, made me dial up to the U.S. from Japan to download pictures from the hotel to do live photographs. And my bill at the end of the 10 days was $3,000. And I think I sent 4 pictures. So when I checked out, because they'd want the pictures in the morning, which was 12 hours before. So I'd be falling asleep, maybe drunk, as these slow things were uploading and wake up in the morning to see if it was done. And when I checked out, I was like, that's going to hurt.
I was wondering why Car Action ads were so expensive. I guess
I paid for my cell phone bill. I have a picture of me with my robe belt around my head. That's a TC3 story for you, but very innovative, except for the ABC car beat it to market. I'm sure they'll still not want to hear that.
What are you talking about? That has nothing to do with anything. It doesn't matter.
Some other car beat their design to market.
Yeah, whoop-de-poo. Yeah, great. Congratulations. Nobody's ever heard of them.
Yeah, right. Yeah, sure. Number 7. We're up to number 7. This car was the one that I may have or may not have tried to morph it into one because whatever. Just show it.
That's the one it should have been. You had MP5. There's no reason the MP5 should have been on there. That was right after the turbo burns. It's the first one that looks
this is the one
identical to the platform now.
MP5 came out. That was the dominant car forever. MP5.
No, they were all dominant cars. Kyosho won the worlds for 12 years. All those iterations were dominant cars. But the Inferno was the first one that literally is the same platform we have now, where the engine, where the pipe is, where the center diff with the 2 disc brakes, with the brake bias and all. That is the start of, unless someone can correct me, that's the start of the 8-scale platform we have now. I mean, the burns and the turbo burns were close. And there were some Hung Nors and some really old Taiwanese ones, I think, as well, possibly. But, Ron already said the burns. But I think the burns wasn't a center diff and had one single large disc brake, which sounds like a silly thing to discuss. But the 2 disc brakes with a center diff that could change the front and rear brake bias was a big deal. And maybe Ron can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure the burns was one single disc and it either locked or maybe it was a center diff. Anyway, whatever. I agree with Inferno on this one.
Well, thank you. We all did. Obviously, that's why it's on there.
Well, good thing I'm here to tell you all you're right.
Yeah, thank you for agreeing with the list that was made.
Yeah, you're welcome. I'll tell you when you're wrong.
All right. And that would be when you're wrong because you voted.
That's
number
true.
6. Me and my family are looking for sex. This car is also a number. Are we frozen? Nobody knows 8?
I'm not even trying. So
8, yeah, that definitely deserves to be there.
Yeah, and you'll notice I have 3 8s because that was the biggest picture I could find, and it wouldn't blow up.
The 8, whether it never found a huge amount of, I mean, it did find huge success, but it didn't find any huge success necessarily on the world scale. But every car moved their engine forward into the center and made the car narrower, not the wheelbase, not the track width, but all the weight
forward
center and forward because of Losey.
Right. And that car was a bitch to drive because it was knife edge and fast, but
everyone did it better quickly.
Yeah.
But
they did it better.
They all did it because of Losey. Losey's like, put the engine in the middle and move the drive line around it and move it all put all the weight forward. Yeah. And everyone's like, yeah, good idea.
And locally, that car had way more success than
and that's why I said, like, I think it even won a few nationals, of course. I was doing this diatribe earlier. I had 4 Losey vehicles on my list, and none of them really seemed to become anything huge on their own, but they set off the industry into a new path on more than one occasion. So I think they're all worthy of being on the top list.
Number 5 Di Maio. This is a scalar trailer.
SCX-10. Yeah. Good.
This was a tough one to find. Wasn't they had different bodies on this to start, right?
Yeah. I think it started out with the Betty bot.
The ugly one.
Power wagon kind of thing.
Yeah, it was ugly. That's why I didn't pick that one.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
I thought this was better looking, but it was the same chassis. Some of these things are so long ago, it's hard to remember what they actually look like when I tried to remember what these were.
Yep.
And then because they name them numbers, they're really not really iconic to me. It's easier to remember a name. But arguably started the trail truck rage.
Yeah, I wouldn't even say arguably. I mean, before SCX-10, you had to go and like cobble your own scaler together. There was nothing that came in a box.
So it was cool, and they really helped grow the whole community of people going into the woods and drinking together. So we'll see what happens with their company now.
That's what Axial was going for.
Hey, makes sense to me. The next one, I think this is our first monster truck-ish. No,
third. What number are we on?
Number 4.
Number 4.
Important stuff.
What's 4? That's a monster truck. Well, it's not going to be T-Max. That's too low.
Cloudbuster, right?
Oh, Cloudbuster. Yeah, right. Yeah, good. Yeah,
and that's a super Cloudbuster.
Yeah, I liked it because it was chrome and it was a white background. So the original one obviously was red. I don't think this is much different, but I like the picture.
Technically, it was white, but
the T-Max of the 80s.
It was white plastic. You had to paint it.
Oh,
yeah, but it was red on the box art.
The box was red. Yeah. If it was me, it would be white because most of the to me stuff that is white it stays white in my book, like helmets and
because you're lazy.
Yeah, oh yeah. I wanted to do a model. I'd have something that doesn't go.
Well, that's some of the fun of.
All right, we're in the top 3. So obviously we've narrowed down a lot of the.
All right, so now do a prize. The top 3 should be somewhat obvious or easy now for the people who are listening.
For you.
So don't offer $1,000, but throw a prize out. Let's talk about something else for a second. Throw a prize out, and almost everyone should be able to guess. Maybe not the order.
So I'm not going to give a prize to everybody.
Do a free subscription to the first guy that puts the correct order or something. I don't know. Give something away. Come on, big boy. What do you got?
I'll give free complete back issue sets to everybody. And then
all these guys are subscribers, but what do you got behind you that you want to give out?
Nothing.
There's cool stuff there.
Yeah, I'll have Jeff mail everybody something.
Yeah, just wait by the mailbox.
It is time for Hong Nor, Hobao, and CEN to shine.
Is there a red cat on the top?
That was awesome.
So before we get to the top 3, I want to talk about is that some of the things about age and when they, again, we discussed this before, of age and when you're prime in the RC makes a big difference when you vote.
It shouldn't make a big difference, though. It only makes a big difference because they are unaware of what's around.
If you're a guy who's only been in RC for 10 years, which is a long time, you don't know about most of the.
Well, I just said that. I just said it shouldn't be limited. It's just that they don't know about it.
Right. Okay. All right.
Yeah. No, I said the same thing you said. Right. Yeah. No, I agree with what you're saying, Pete. They don't know about these vehicles, but they should.
For us, all the stuff that is now doesn't seem influential.
Oh wait, I'm a little disappointed because we all had. Well, whatever. I won't.
No, 2 of us had it.
We like the infraction should have been on this list.
Well, 2 of us voted for that.
Yeah, well, more people should have voted for it. That's a modern car that really is I think you shouldn't have too many modern cars on. There's not enough time to know what they did, but I think that The 80 mile an hour armor release should have been on.
Negative, not me. Did you?
No, that's fine. And that's fine.
Did you have Gold Tub RC10 on your list?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course I did.
Well, me too, but we haven't seen a Gold Tub RC10. So.
Well, because we're in the top 3 right now.
Well, I know, but I'm just wondering if it's going to make it.
If it didn't make it, I'll fucking smash this computer and never do the show again if the Gold Pan RC10 isn't on this top 3 list.
I'll believe the last thing, but not the first thing.
I'm gonna let people. There's 3 cars left. If everybody wants to put it up there, I'll give you a subscription or a free issue. I'll put free issue online for everybody on Earth. I'll have Jeff send you stickers.
Well, someone's already got it. Maybe not the order, but
yeah, Tim is probably very close.
Yeah, of course he is. Yeah, the order I don't think he'll be right on.
If he keeps,
he'll definitely be right on the vehicles. He better be right on the vehicles.
Tim, if you're correct, I will give you something from my shop here. It's a pink spring clamp, but you will get.
But he's not going to be right. That's the thing on the order. He's not. He's right on the cars, but he's not going to be right on the order. I don't think. Anyway, Derek the only guy that knows. Did you get the list, Pete?
No, I don't know.
No, I didn't want to send it to everybody because then
yeah. Okay.
I saw Joe's list, and that was it.
Yeah.
You
got no tips. Joe did figure it out before Jeff.
What happened? I don't know what happened.
I don't know what happened. No one else is guessing because I'm going to go move on.
Move on.
Theobald
put RS4 in there, huh?
Yeah, I don't think RS4 made the top 20, right? That's silly. That one of the I put Nitro RS4, but that was a huge car in the early 2000s. That was a big deal.
Not really. I don't know.
I ran parking lot race. We had parking lot racing. We sold tons of them, and beginners and expert. Everyone loved it. It was anyway.
Everybody loved the body. It came with a good body.
Well, you could buy lots of good bodies too. Like that
was a big car because before the RS4, you had the Tamiya TA series. Mm-hmm. And then you had Yokomo's, which you couldn't even get. And then HPI came along with the first touring car that was like, wow, this looks like a real car, not a manta ray.
Yeah. It's like a jumbo mini Z. Yeah.
Let's argue that Tamiya wasn't more scale, but Tamiya was more scale than that.
Tamiya definitely was more scale. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Hey, Joe put a Blizzard on there. Ben did put the Blizzard.
Ben put a Blizzard?
Blizzard on there.
Predator.
Right, we're gonna go
Predator. I like the Predator, but it obviously isn't on the list. Shouldn't be on the list.
No.
Travis Micro RS4.
You want to do most?
Everyone's drunk now. Oh, Drake. Sure. Nice.
I
just want to read the comments now. All right. Drake thinks the Triple XNT Adam Drake 2 edition should have been on.
It's too late to vote, Adam. All right, let's go on. Number 3, and I'm going to be honest with you, this fucker got robbed.
It's going to be T-Max then. Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's tough. The top 3 is tough. Ordering this is tough, but yeah, I think
one person didn't put this in their top.
Well, if someone didn't put that in their top 25, you should burn their list. You shouldn't use someone's list who doesn't have that on their top 25 list. Well, no, that's that's a lot of information right there.
Yeah, stupid. But whatever. Like I said, some people may have never had one or heard 10 million people running it.
Yeah, it's the biggest thing that's ever happened in this industry.
Sorry, T-Max, you didn't win. So now we're down to the top 2.
Well, I have a feeling I know what's next.
What do you want, number 1 or number 2?
Slash will be number 1 and RC10 will be number 2.
All right, we're going to do a click down. We're down the list here.
No, we're not. Are you serious?
Yeah.
I'm so angry right now.
See all my hard work moving this font around?
Yeah, get Peter to do this next time.
Unfortunately, I don't give other people work to do, Jeff. That's your MO. All right, number 3.
What do you got? It'll be RC10.
Oh, we're on to number 2. Sorry.
Number 2.
A 50-50 shot.
All right, just show the freaking car.
I think I'm just debating whether I should do number 1 first. Isn't that how they do it in beauty pageants? Number 2 gets fucked. And
that's true. No, well, yeah. I guess they do that. Yeah, but then number 2 gets like screwed. Everyone's already cheering for number 1.
Number one.
I'm so bored right now.
I don't know which one to do. So I can't. I'm waiting for Pete's wisdom. Just wisdom is stupid as shit.
Pete is wise. I enjoy Pete's wisdom.
Just waiting for the review. I put up number 2. I think you count them down.
Well, no, RC10 and Slash.
But all right,
You're making a bigger deal now than it should be.
Number 2 on the list. Who?
RC10.
Yeah, it's going to be RC10. Yeah, that's fine.
There's big photos of the RC10 Classic. Come on.
That wasn't as easy to find. I'm telling you.
You should use the well. You wanted a white background.
You have to click on You have to right click on it and open it in a new what do you call it?
I know. Believe me, I did it. And
listen to YouTube.
I did. It wasn't as easy. They have some of these Acrobat viewer stuff that doesn't let you actually open the thing, and then you have to screenshot it. Not as high.
Drag it on, and now you're talking Photoshop. Are you freaking kidding me right now?
Number 1.
Well, you blew it. I was going to talk about the RC10, but all right.
Yeah, but
we can go back to the 2.
We spent 20 minutes on the Ultima.
All right, we'll go back.
Yeah, I'm with Ron on this one. Although I think I had T-Max 1, RC10 2, and Slash 3, but I'm fine with that top 3. That's the accurate top 3.
Yeah, I like the number 1. All due respect to RC10, but the RC10 is something for geezers like us to recognize. It has no entry on today's market, and it's all about
the fact that it's still in the top 3 says a lot for it.
The Slash did what the RC10 did, but the Slash did it on a mainstream level. It just
I'm gonna be honest with you. I really think the T-Max should have been the number 1.
T-Max should have been number 1. RC10 or Slash number 2. RC10 or Slash number 2.
You'll read the article and it says that it was a mainstream effing nitro vehicle.
Yeah. If you weren't here for the T-Max era, we all were. I was selling product in the T-Max era. I could have packaged T-Max Tire Air and sold it for $14.99. If it said T-Max on it, it sold it was mayhem. The early 2000s was complete T-Max mayhem in this industry, in every sense of the word.
I think the only reason
I'm fine with top 3.
I think the only reason I pushed T-Max down was because of Jeff here. Sorry, Jeff here. I'm very wary, Pete loves Traxxas. So that probably pushed it down on my list. But I did have.
But your number 1 was still a Traxxas, was it not?
Well, yeah, but it's the Flash. I mean, I don't think it's
Yeah. Anyway, listen, the top 3 is accurate, so that's fine.
Yeah. But I mean, nothing put Nitro on the map like the T-Max. And I think the Nitro RS4s had a big hand on the on-road side.
But not nearly as much as the T-Max. Yeah,
just on platform. 90% was T-Max and 10% was the Nitro RS4.
Yeah, you can't have an on-road do anything.
Double full start that you ripped off and broke, and then you had a 12 engine that barely ran right. The T-Max, this is the crazy thing. It was arguably, I would still say, probably the best-selling RC car of all time.
It has to be.
They'll never release how many they sold, but the spread of you just walking around. I didn't walk around to a normal plate and somebody goes, oh, a T-Max. They don't go, oh, a Slash. You were in random.
No, they almost do go, oh, a Slash. But it doesn't take away from your argument.
The Slash had the advantage, too, of Traxxas racing these things and promoting them actively on TV, which would help. T-Max had none of that shit. This was just purely.
Well, no, didn't they have a T-Max monster truck at some point?
Yeah, a little later, but not in the beginning.
It's the same conversation. If you could watch it on Saturday or Sunday, it would also help bring a whole new group of people in. And the Slash and T-Max both did that.
That and the biggest advertisement for T-Maxes was T-Maxes, because you'd hear those things a mile away.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. You don't hear that stuff electric. I still remember hearing it in my neighborhood, and you can hear the shift, or when someone didn't know how to tune it and never shifted. That's the.
And even all sales aside, it was pretty good. It had the auto start, you didn't have to rip your finger off with a pull start. You didn't even have to put a glow igniter on it. Listen, I'm not a huge fan of the T-Max. I have owned one because everyone serious in the industry has, but it's not my favorite vehicle by any means, but it was a big freaking deal for a number of reasons. You could list from an engineering standpoint, from a sales standpoint, from a reach standpoint, from a draw, you could go on and on and on about all the reasons. Anyways, it was number 1, but yeah.
My T-Max story is I had one of the houses I lived in every day around 5, the dinner hour, which is great. The guys on my street, like 5 or 6 of them, would all get their T-Maxes out and run those things up and down the neighborhood for like an hour. And I was like, guys, you have no idea how much I love RC cars, but you got to cut that out because it's just too freaking loud.
Right. Ron said earlier that, but the RC10 started it all. And listen, I'm a racer, as Peter often does diatribes about how I only love cars, only love race cars. But no, the RC10 didn't start it all. The RC10 started it all in racing, in competitive racing.
Yeah.
And I'm a competitive racer, but it's still a niche compared to the kind of reach that a Slash or a T-Max can get.
Well, see, but here's the thing. It depends when you started racing. Like when I got an RC10, I raced my Kyosho Big Brew before I got an RC10 at the track with these people. You know what I mean?
Right.
I had to race them, and they got mad when I
get mad too. Well, not in the 80s, I wouldn't get mad. That was normal in the 80s.
But RC10 then became the only car at the track. And then some rando 4-wheel drives.
But again, if you own the whole slice of one slice of a big pizza, then you still own that whole slice, but it's a small slice. More people.
I love pizza, but I don't know what the fuck you just said.
Well, RC10 owned the racer market, but if the racer market was only 10% of the whole market, then owning that full 9.5% of that 10% is a big deal, I suppose. But owning 80% of the other 90% is a bigger deal. If my numbers just made sense, which I think they did.
I didn't even listen.
Well, that's often the case.
I was reading a comment because I'm sure it said no Mugen.
Scott Hughes is here. He's saying boo. What's he saying boo about?
I don't know if it was just trick or treat.
Maybe.
I thought about getting more and more people, but to be honest, it was just too hard to get people to do anything. So, and then it's just going to keep getting weirder and weirder because everybody has this weird, like, I'm sure Scott would have put, his MBX6 or whatever he raced to almost winning the Worlds.
Which actually wouldn't, well, right. But the Mugen 8-scale buggy could listen, Mugen did some crazy things.
On road, I would say they have a better shot for me of putting something on there.
Well, no, you have Kyosho and Serpent as well and some other big names there. So Mugen definitely doesn't have a stronghold on road 8-scale.
Just too niche.
It's very niche. Yeah. But I thought of putting an 8-scale on road on, but which one would you choose? They're I mean, I thought
I'm going to be honest with you, it probably would have been a Serpent.
That's what I mean. Like you like Mugen, I like Mugen too. But to choose which of those, as Pete said, niche platforms is the best of that niche would be a difficult to do, and B, it's
like saying one of the best full size cars. It's like saying one of the best full size cars is a Spiker. It's a cool car. But,
Right. Or the Predator. Even we made reference to the Predator. So
I said Spiker, not Striker.
Yeah, well, I think as everyone can imagine, where's Tebow on the, not Jared, but our other Tebow, the Striker should have made the list. I need to take this picture down. I did this picture for a joke, and now I'm just an idiot with this picture hanging in my room or office or wherever.
Sonic Fighter? How is the Sonic Fighter a punchline?
I don't know.
Because the Striker was the second worst.
Yeah. Tebow said the Striker was the second worst car, and he informed us that the Sonic Fighter was the worst. So I printed the picture the next week.
You know, my favorite part of those pictures in the background is, and it's a knock on you, is that you'll spend the time to frame that, but not send me.
I'll make a joke with a guy I don't know before I do any work for you.
Yeah, that's more work.
Tebow, what do you want me to print this week?
Yeah. I spent hours on this collage, but I can't.
Yeah. Well, I didn't spend an hour on that collage, but right.
You should put actual framed photos of Hasselhoff and Burt Reynolds from the 70s.
That's actually a very well. You said it a lot.
I don't have it anymore.
That would have been brilliant.
Clean the room out on this.
I'm angry I didn't think of that, Pete. Yeah, good one. I like that.
Yeah, I took all those down. I don't really have any. I only have me talking as Jeff left, and some of these that are off.
What, are you trying to save space on your hard drive? What do you?
Look, you want to run the show, be the director? Let me know.
No, I don't even want to do the show, let alone run the show.
Right. So it's not like it's well thought out to do a TV program. It's a webcam.
Tebow, I'll send the pictures to you. Not the Striker. That's an actual original Striker box from my vintage Striker. Like I bought a brand new Striker and built it. But this is just a dirty printout.
That's our entire show today. The full article will be in not the issue that will come out some point in my life, but the next issue after this point in my life. And it'll explain, you'll have everybody's top 25 so you can look at how stupid some of us are or not. and try to figure out what mindset someone is. That's what I was looking at. I'm like, why would they pick this? And I looked at their next pick because obviously they thought about them in a row. Doesn't really make any sense. I mean,
I was frustrated that we couldn't explain ourselves. Not that we couldn't, but that wasn't what
we had a whole show about it, and you weren't there.
No, that's fine. Yeah, and I'm happy about that. But even when I wanted to write little notes like here's why, but it would have been a huge amount of work. But like the justification is part of the fun of this because I'm sure I don't know. Well, I mean, obviously Joe didn't think of any justification, but you could write
put a justification up there. He did all what he was asked to in a timely manner.
No, that's what I'm saying. We weren't asked to.
And again, I will then.
I like to put double X, dominated two-wheel drive and had a Hydra drive.
Well, so the article is going to have that paragraph under each pick of top 25. Not why you picked it, but why whoever is going to
why it deserved to be on there. Yeah. Well, is Pete writing that? All right, Pete, good job.
I know. We'll do something. It's got to be not too wordy, so it can't be you.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
Yeah. Or word. So can't be word
for the new issue yet.
What's going on?
I'm asking Derek if he has any spreads from the new issue yet.
I do. I can send them to you. But
show us one. Put one up. Let's see a nice spread.
You want me to spread? Did I send you PDFs? I did, huh?
You didn't. Not the last time.
Joe,
I sent you yours.
Oh yeah, but no one wants to see the pit tips, the tips section. I mean, like,
are you writing tips now, Pete? I want to read these.
I submitted some.
Yeah, that's why you're writing them.
Yeah.
Right, what are we doing here?
I don't know where they are. I don't really have my desktop organized for on the fly upload.
No, yeah, if it's just the tips and the start section, who cares? I thought maybe you had one of the car reviews.
I do somewhere, but I have to output as a PDF, so I probably didn't do that.
Velocity RC Magazine preparation is our strong suit.
This isn't a show about me making a magazine. It's a show about us talking about nothing.
Why are you yelling right now?
Me?
Yes.
Yeah. So anything else? We're going to wrap up the top 20 here. There was a couple.
I got to go, but let's do this.
There was a couple cool releases.
Non-vehicle best thing.
What?
I already know. Non-vehicle number one. It could be a tool, a part, an upgrade, whatever. Tire, I guess. What's that? Okay, well, that beats mine. Okay, go ahead. What do you got, Pete?
Of course.
That was a big one. You can say light bore brushes. No, you can't say
it down from cars and trucks to anything.
Say again?
Big category. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, I'll go first then. Hydra drive.
I would probably say
can't say lipo or brushless or 2.4.
Okay,
a cool thing. I'm really
those three. Those are the top three.
I know they're the top three. Of course they are. Yeah.
I don't know, dude. Shock shaft pliers. I have no idea.
Oh my god! See, I don't even know why I do this show. All right, shock shaft pliers and 2.4.
Hydra drive was a cool gimmick that I don't really. I mean,
it was not a gimmick at the time in any sense of the word.
Well, everybody went away from it. It had to be a gimmick.
Well, we know why.
Cars and tires got better. Who can remember what Schumacher
and tracks got different? Yeah, right. At the time,
who can remember what Schumacher called their Hydra drive?
Oh, say that again.
Who can remember what Schumacher called their version of Hydra drive?
I didn't even know Schumacher had a version of a Hydra drive.
They did have one. It leaked a lot, but they had one.
Okay.
Oh, you know what? I do remember that now. Now you mentioned the leak.
I don't remember at all.
I believe it was VCD, which was viscous coupling device.
Oh, I had no idea that they had their version of that.
Yep.
Interesting. Yeah. I mean, you brought this up in a past show that Schumacher was the first to design or run a ball diff in the industry.
They had an active caster conversion for an RC10 that I put on there.
Yep. Active caster, right.
Yeah.
Schumacher also the first and only to use a bag of goo as a damper.
I didn't know that either.
12-scale cars. You remember the 12-scale car that
was that Corrali?
No, they're 12-scale pan cars from was that Schumacher or Corrali that had the
No, I think you're thinking of Corrali that had the black rubber bag.
Yeah, you're right.
That's Corrali. Yeah. But still, good reference to a black bag of goo. Good. I like it.
On that note, we should be back next Monday, but barring
I like that.
computer failure, internet failure, bad hot dogs, Derek has to work. Many of 5 reasons it might not happen, but our goal is to be here next Monday. I was going to say Friday. I was just thinking the low C monster truck came out, solid axle crap, and something else, a car that just came out, low C LMT, and then some other release. I don't know if we talked about the 5-wheel motion Red Cat. But we'll talk about some of that new stuff next week and why we don't get any. That's it. Hey, remember, subscribe. If you guys are just watching this, like we float around 20,000 subscribers. It should be able to get there. I guess you have to put the little bell and bullshit in there and begging and things. Just like 80% of our views are from people that aren't subscribed. So just click the damn thing. And then, he's going to kick your ass. Magazines, $10. I'll let you in on a secret. I'm sure everybody here probably already has a subscription, but our Black Friday sale is coming up. It's $5.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if I'm going to do it, but I've changed it.
Just told everyone you were going to do it.
I was just going to do the back issue set for $5 because it's $10 freaking dollars. It's
just do it.
Black Friday holiday sale for the entire life of the freaking magazine.
It's COVID. Everyone's stuck at home. Just
if you don't want to buy the magazine, you can PayPal.
Yeah, give Ron his $5 back.
Send us money. Jeff will take off a shirt. Joe will send you nudes. He already offered that.
Literally will take my shirt off for money.
And he's been working out.
So no, I have not. I have not been working out.
He's got a green tint to his beard, so he's running out of beard dye.
No, never.
Until next week, I'm gonna do the little outro, Smoke Joe, and then we're gonna look oddly at the end when it. We should just have a camera on my drinks because that's when the show ends. Water's out. Fucking toilet. This is where I go. Right down. So weird, dude. Thanks for watching. See you next time, or if you're watching recorded, see you when you record.